I have received a question on how, I'm just reading it now, okay? How can I make myself emotionally numb? Otherwise, I don't feel I will survive. So, okay, basically, first thing is validation, which is if you feel that you need to become emotionally numb, otherwise you're not going to survive, that means you are in such an amount of pain that you rather not feel anything than feel something. Generally, okay, to answer to your question directly, is there are techniques where you can kind of like disconnect yourself from the pain, what's going on right now. You can, there are practices like, for example, you can say presence, mindfulness and presence, kind of like only concentrating on what's going on right now, like this very moment, this very second, this very moment. Eckhart Tolle is very good with this, and he is biggest figure, I think, in that type of modality. Obviously, there are some other techniques where you can disconnect yourself emotionally from things, like you can disassociate on purpose. Even you can leave the part that is suffering consciously and decide that part that of you who is suffering is going to put in some type of container, and another part of your personality who is stronger is going to come out. So you can do that. However, generally I don't really recommend to do any of that long term. Why? Because if you make yourself emotionally numb, you don't really make the problem go away. And what you do, you kind of make yourself less sensitive. And I understand, like when you feel like you're not going to survive otherwise, therefore there are those techniques that you can use. However, if you would make yourself longer run, if you're going to make yourself emotionally numb, what that is going to do for you, you're going to disconnect from negative and uncomfortable emotions, but you also will disconnect from awesome and amazing emotions. Like, for example, you're going to disconnect from joy, you're going to disconnect from compassion, you're going to disconnect from love, you're going to disconnect from kindness, you're going to kind of like disconnect from all of these kind of like a heartfelt emotions. The fact that you are suffering so much right now and that you can feel all of these things, and you're even seeking for help and asking how can you become emotionally numb, shows that you are a highly sensitive person. You're a person who feels a lot and feels much. Another thing that I would recommend is reading some books or articles about emotional sensitivity and empaths, being empath, and what it means to be. And I think once you start kind of understanding that is not something wrong with you, that you feel those things, there is something unique about you. There are many of us like that who are highly sensitive people in that way, but I want to encourage you to kind of like learn about that sensitivity and learn to manage it in the right way, so you don't become kind of like a robot, like numb, like that. But like I absolutely understand that if you're asking this question, that means you are in an intense amount of pain. And then another thing that I highly recommend is like to find somebody that you can talk about how you feel on a regular basis. Because when you have all of these things contained inside, it feels very kind of overpowering and very big. And you can, like it, and also it makes you feel like you are very alone with this, especially if your environment is very harsh and unfriendly. And, everybody kind of thinks it's completely okay to, be the way they are. But, we, us, people who are more sensitive and emotionally receptive, we feel that environment much harsher. So that's what I wanted to say. And thank you for this question.